Namaste. I will speak in Hindi and English both. So, please excuse me. Basically, what is happening is that we are actually assuming that, as Swamiji has also told, the scientific knowledge is being given more weightage these days. Now, is it really, correct? Or, can we go beyond it? And in our system, we talk about the spiritual knowledge. So, what it is, this spiritual knowledge, that I will try to cover. And this paper I dedicate to my parents who are not there, but I am there on this platform because of this guidance and inspiration. Now, actually, the summary of this project is, this presentation is that scientific methodology cannot provide true knowledge of reality. This is being recognized and realized. It has to be actually projected in the right perspective. Then when we talk about these biological systems and human systems, then it is very difficult to directly use the methodology developed for physics to study this system. There are fundamental problems, and these problems have to be addressed using what is known as the general system theory. Then the concept of Indian system, that knowledge is structured in the consciousness, needs critical analysis in the light of recent developments in the field of neurophysiology using quantum physics and general theory of relativity. It appears that scientific knowledge is only a subset of the total knowledge system. And I am giving 3 examples from different walks of life where you will see that it is so. Now, this particular part has already been covered, so I will not go into detail, except for the last point, that in last 50 years, the sperm counts in males have gone down by 50% in last 50 years. Means maleness among men is decreasing. Now, is it a consequence of science? In general, if we look at the whole reality, then we find that it is entropy which is increasing in all walks of life. Wherever, whatever example you take, earlier days where the petroleum or these minerals were confined to say a 10 by 10 kilometer area in a mine, we knew its location coordinates, but now they have spread throughout the atmosphere. Electromagnetic pollution, for example. Now you find electromagnetic field waves everywhere because it is required for mobiles. Now, so on and so forth. Many diseases are coming because some of the chemicals which we are consuming, we don't know whether those chemicals are here, where are they? We don't know. So entropy is increasing. Now, another consequence of scientific development is that developments in engineering, for example, which is coming from science, results into non-biological order and consumption of natural resources whose information is not accounted for. So again, there is a loss of the information and increase in the entropy. Now, when we are talking of Mangalyaan and all the rockets, when these rockets are launched, smoke comes out. It is very hot smoke and it has very high temperature. And this, as per Indian philosophy and as per Jainism, thousands of insects are killed because of this smoke. Now, we are not aware of it. We don't have any information or knowledge. That knowledge is not taken into account. Similarly, when this Higgs boson was discovered, this total, this hadron collider was made. But nobody asked a question, how much information and knowledge is required to know this, that is, how much natural resources was consumed in making this hadron collider. Similarly, these are examples of non-biological order which is increasing due to advancement in science and technology. I am calling it non-biological order. But this example of biological order which is decreasing at alarming rate in all different ways, you know, I did not just cover. So what is scientific truth and what are its limitations? I am giving an example from these high-yielding varieties of wheat which were used in 70s. Now, these high-yielding varieties, experiments were performed on them in small areas and it was found that the yield increases. So, they were expanded in large areas, in large states and so on and so forth. But what it resulted into, for example, in case of Punjab, this groundwater depleted like anything. Heavy pesticides were used, so it resulted into poisoning of the soil. So again, you can see entropy has gone up. Now, in this process of science and its technology, its economic exploitation and what happened to environment, if we look at this diagram, the first shows scientific experiment, then we talk of technology development, we talk of economic exploitation and the environmental impact. But the results are taken from the laboratory outside, and then generalizations are made by technocrats, economists and politicians, adding new parameters, more information and knowledge. But Indian system talks about this total chain, and they talk about an optimal solution, a balanced solution, taking all these four things into account. So we have to appreciate the holistic or system concept inbuilt into our genes and blood. Now there is another limitation. Kurt Gödel, he was a scientist. At the age of 26 or so, he gave the idea that no scientific methodology, no mathematical representation, no language can represent the truth. So he gave what is known as two incompleteness theorem. There is the first incompleteness theorem and second incompleteness theorem. I will not go into the details because I have many things to cover, but I have given you that example, that what is the meaning. It is applicable to the mathematical system, but now it has been extended to other areas and nobody has been able to prove it. Actually nobody has been able to say anything against it. So it is a challenge to the modern science. Then limitation of conservation laws of physics. If we look at the conservation laws of physics, then we have the law of conservation of mass, law of conservation of linear momentum, law of conservation of angular momentum, which are foundation of all description of physics and reality. But if you go into the detail, they are applicable only for the closed isolated system. If we have a human system which is open system, constantly interacting with the environment, we are taking oxygen, we are actually releasing carbon dioxide, then how can you explain, how can you, directly follow, the methodology of science to understand human systems and biological systems with high accuracy. Similarly, this wave function in quantum mechanics is being talked about. Nowadays, people are saying that this is not wave function of knowledge, it is wave function of ignorance. Because when we carry out this experiment, suppose this wave function psi, I would describe psi 1 and psi 2 as two states of electron, then when you try to measure one, then the other disappears. Means when you try to get knowledge of one, you lose information in the process of measurement. So, where this knowledge goes? Is it the right procedure we are following, or can there be some alternative procedure? So, limitation of science as applied to biological system. As I told you, biological systems are open system, they are irreversible system, they have memory, and in these cases what happens, for example, we prepare a budget. When we prepare a budget, we fix up the goal, and then we organize our causes in such a way that we try to achieve that particular effect. So here your principle of cause and effect is not applicable. We have the reverse principle, that effect is determining the cause, not the cause determining the effect. So these are the general issues. So we require totally different formalism when we are trying to interact the human environmental system. So the general system theory comes into picture, and this general system theory, I tell you, it is very close to the Indian system of thinking in all aspects. If you go into the details, you will find it, and I am going to demonstrate it, indirectly. So here you see that wholes are not reducible into parts. There can be phenomena where, say, many particle systems are there, so you cannot reduce them to the individual component. Similarly, system resist trend toward disorder by importing energy and information from the environment, and entropy, disorder and information are very important in these cases. Even energy comes next to that. Now, some examples of order in nature. Climatological order. Then there are 6 periodic seasons. Agriculture order like crop cycles, water cycles, solar cycles, soil cycles, and other parameters. Various cyclic processes in biological systems and human system. Periodic movements in astronomy and at microscopic scale. Now these are the examples of order. If you look at the top of a roof of a temple, you find this order. Ladies put mehndi, for example. This is also an example of order. The person doing this say yoga, he introduces functional order in his brain. Now, I come to the example of Swami Vivekananda. What is the meaning of order I want to illustrate, and I will speak in Hindi now. आप जितने बच्चे हैं, आपको आजकल मेमोरी की प्रॉब्लम हो रही है, जितना मोबाइल आ गया हमारी मेमोरी कम होती जा रही है. तो स्वामी विवेकानंद के बारे में कहा जाता है कि जब वो बीमार थे उस समय इंसाइक्लोपीडिया ब्रिटानिका पढ़ रहे थे अपना टाइम पास करने के लिए. तो उनका एक शिष्य उनके सामने बैठा हुआ था, तो वो शिष्य उनको पूछ, 1 मिनट, ओके, आई विल नॉट गो देन, आई विल गो वेरी Uh, Now, these are the example of the Shatabdan, for example, is the process in which these monks, demonstrate their memory power. And this is an example of this. Now, this is an example which is about 2000 years old, and it shows how our ancestors have tried to measure the sizes of atoms and nuclei. They started this measurement table from Avsanna Sanna Skanda, it is from Jainism, and if you try to estimate the size of this, then you get the size of smallest particle of atom is 10 to the power minus this 11 centimeter, which is between Bohr radius and Fermi radius. It means that there could be different mechanism to arrive at this knowledge. So knowledge may have different dimensions. Similarly, this person who has not taken food or water from last 75 years, he is this actually temple of Ambaji. Now, it is a challenge to science how it can happen and what are the basic things. Now, implications of these observations that there are extraordinary controls in the body which can be developed. Now,
your time is over.
Just 2 minutes I will take. Actually, I wanted to say that in this case, there can be different, the extrasensory perception, for example, is possible. In Jainism, for example, they talk of this telepathy and clairvoyance. Now, this requires a different methodology to prove this phenomena, which may not be scientific, but is beyond science, that is to be recognized. The quantum mechanics part has been covered. So, and this Darwin's principle of evolution also, we are talking survival of fittest and live and let live. So, these two have to be compared. Now, why do we talk, or why do we need a different type of evolution procedure? So, this I will say that actually using quantum mechanics, now this Roger Penrose has talked about this quantum mechanical like phenomena in our brain. That is the neuron nucleus, for example, these small lines which you see here, they are actually called microtubules, and these microtubules are further divided into what are known as tubulins, and these tubulins are of the size of 8 micron to about 5 micron. Now, these tubulins actually are showing a quantum mechanical behavior. When thousands of these actually tubulins oscillate, then these quantum superposition states are produced, and when because of their gravitational self energy some instability comes, and they try to link it with the this consciousness. So, this has to be examined now, and similarly actually these are this mechanism involved through this, but using this process of what is called as objective reduction or this orchestrated objective reduction, they are trying to explain consciousness, but I will just go in detail, not detail, sorry, in brief. So, finally, what they are saying is that information can be stored at the space-time geometry level, that is at 10 to the power minus 35 meters and 10 to the power minus 43 seconds, and that information can influence information in our brain. So, what they are talking about is this information can exist actually before our birth, and it can also exist actually after our death. So, this information can be there. So, they are now coming towards spirituality and so on and so forth. So, here is the human brain, and there's actually on the right side you have this information contained at the space-time geometry level. So, these are the areas which we should explore now, and I will come to this particular slide where it is shown that earlier, say without quantum mechanics, please, just 1 minute. Here they are talking about these bits of information in our brain, which is 10 to the power 17. With this quantum mechanics, now this number has gone to 10 to the power 27, and these qubits actually can provide huge information. And now it is believed that our human brain or the subconscious mind acts as a quantum computer. And if it is so, then this quantum computer has huge information it can have. It is infinite almost. So what is mentioned in our ancient Indian culture, that our consciousness has information, this probably we are moving in that direction. So we are moving from science to spirituality and such phenomena which are more complex. It involves quantum computer, quantum information, and then we are talking of Vidya and Paravidya. Now, it appears that the classical information is similar to Vidya, and quantum information is, say, similar to Paravidya. So, these are the areas, then similar Pap, Punya, life and afterlife and all these theories now actually maybe actually falling in the domain of
Thank you,
science.
sir. Thank you for your nice presentation.
Sorry, thank you.
Now, I request Maitrik Saha to garland Dr. Surendra Singh ji. I request Maitrik Saha to garland Dr. Surendra Singh ji. Now I